This is madness. This is absolute madness. This is the most un-American thing I've ever seen. We are watching rich hedge funds, billionaires, and financial institutions absolutely hijack the financial system. These idiots have played with people's livelihood and wealth for decades. They have taken advantage of the little guy who didn't have access to markets, who didn't have access to information, who didn't have communication tools. And now all of a sudden, when the friction and all of that goes away, and the average little investor, the bottom 45% don't have investable assets. They're preyed upon. But now all of a sudden we start to give those people information, communication tools, and access to markets. And they start pushing back. And now the rich hedge funds, the billionaires, and all those people, all the capitalists, all the free market enthusiasts, they start crying foul when they start losing money. This isn't capitalism. This isn't free markets. This is absolute madness. And the fact that the very platforms, Discord, Robinhood, and others, who hung their hat and pretended to be the rebels, the pirates of the entire thing, that they were going to empower the little guy, that the second any pressure is applied, they literally stop trading stocks or they kick off these communities from their platforms. It's disgusting. And every single kid with a keyboard and an internet connection right now is pissed off. They're watching. And I do not think that Wall Street or the establishment understands the revolution that is happening right now. You no longer have to be wealthy. In this country, we have used wealth as a proxy for intelligence for way too long.
Ooh.
It's bullshit. That's all it is. That's exactly what it is. We say, oh, if you're rich, you must be smart. No. Retail was right about Bitcoin. Retail was right about Tesla. Retail was right about GameStop. Retail is smarter than you think. And what we are watching is hedge funds and financial institutions be exposed. It's not because they're smarter. It's because they've constructed a system that allows them to profit on the back of the little guy. But now the little guy's got tools and the little guy's got their own army to fight back. And what they just did to hedge funds is they just punched them square in the nose. But if these hedge funds really believe they're so smart, if you really think you're so good, come meet us. Come meet us in the market where it is free, where it's unmanipulated, where there is no bailouts, there's no circuit breakers. It's just if you're right, you profit, and if you're wrong, you lose money. Come meet us in the decentralized world, because that is where every single one of these retail investors are going to go. They're not going to keep playing the rigged game. They're going to move to the decentralized world where you can't shut the market off. It trades 24/7, 365. I don't care if you're tired or not, the market's trading. I don't care if you want to go to dinner, the market's trading. 24/7, 365, doesn't matter where you were born, what language you speak, what your education level is, how rich you are, how smart or dumb you are. If you got an internet connection, you're in the game. And what we are about to witness is a complete revolution of these markets, these assets, and all of these geniuses who went to Harvard and Wharton. They wear their suits and ties and they act like they've got some kind of sophistication or some level of superiority to the average guy. Roaring Kitty and deep value on Reddit just blew up your hedge fund. And they're not even trying yet. And so now what you have is you've got millions of people around the world that are all going to work together. They're going to invest their capital. They're going to allow their ideas to be tested in a war of attrition of ideas on the internet. And what we're going to get is a more efficient market. We're going to get better educated investors, and it's going to expose the establishment for exactly what it is. It's a racket. We've known it's a racket for decades. We just didn't have the tools to fight back, but now people have the tools. And what we are going to see is complete decentralization of everything.
Beautifully said.
I'm pissed. Go ahead. What do you think?
Oh,
I feel like you're more rational.
Well, thank you for asking. I thought you'd never ask. So I think, watching this from the sideline, back when Occupy Wall Street was happening, it got a lot of press, it got a lot of attention, but at the end of the day, those were people who were protesting a system that did not care. They knew it would eventually go away. They knew the protests would eventually go away. There was no financial hurt that they experienced. Now, the same people are armed with information, the internet, and money, access to capital and access to the markets. So now they're actually making the people they were protesting back then, they're making them hurt, and they're taking money from them. And now they are forced to pay attention because it's actually affecting them. They're not just in a park somewhere in a physical location.
I completely agree. The worst part about this, on top of the fact that the people are taking money, right now they're actually delivering billions of dollars of losses. But also, we have to remember that when those people left Zuccotti Park, what has happened over the last 10 years is the Federal Reserve and elected officials have devalued the dollar, and they've continued to punish that 45% of Americans who own no investable assets. But those people now are getting in the game. And what we're realizing is that the crowd is more powerful than any one institution.
Of course, and you can't discount them. One of my favorite memes that I saw on Twitter, it was not about this, it was something else, but it said, everyone's always screaming, like, let the market decide, let the market decide. And then it says, market decides. And then those same people are like, oh no, that was wrong, that was wrong. And it's like, well, if you want to talk about the free market, let it decide. It has decided. This is what people are doing. You can't argue with it, right?
Of course. Again, what they want is they want a rigged game. I want a free market when I'm making money, but when I start losing money, shut it off. Shut it off.
It's kind of like when we play chess.
And you quit. Exactly. That's exactly what it's like. This is absolutely absurd. There are people who want to take their hard-earned money and they want to invest it. Who cares how they want to invest it? Let them decide what they want to do with their own money. You've already kept them from the private markets by saying if you're not rich, you can't participate because of the accreditation laws. Get rid of them. Let everybody play in every game. It is your American right to make money or lose money. Who cares if they make money or lose money? They're grown-ups. They can make their own decisions with their own money. The government ain't going to save them, and neither is anybody else. This whole idea of we're protecting the little guy is garbage.
The little guy is out and about. They don't need that protection. They got their own protection.
The little guy literally on forums on the internet realized that a hedge fund was selling a stock more than 100% short, and they short squeezed them. Sounds like the little guy is perfectly capable of managing their own money. There's not too many people who are yelling and screaming at the hedge fund who have ever turned $50,000 into $10+ million.
Can I ask how this has never happened before? I mean,
it has.
Oh, it has.
It has. It's just never been with this much momentum and attention.
And scale, yeah.
Right? And then guess what they did? And then they went from one to the next, to the next, to the next. And they're going to keep doing it. But I promise you what we are going to see is people are going to leave this centralized rigged system and they're going to move to that decentralized world. And in the decentralized world, there are no bailouts, there are no circuit breakers, there are no hours of operations. It is fully global. If you are the best, you will profit. If you're wrong, you will lose. And if these people on Wall Street think they're so great, come meet us in the decentralized world. Because there ain't no way that they're going to be able to survive fighting intellectually with millions of people around the world. That's all I got.